Okay, let's start you off. We're in a setback for former President Donald J. Trump here in New York. A court has ruled that he, along with his son Eric and Don, committed a fraud by inflating the value of the real estate and a financial asset of the Trump organization for years. The court also revoked the business licenses that allowed the Trump organization to operate some of its New York properties. The ruling comes as a setback for the former president ahead of a trial in the civil case due to begin next Monday. New York State Attorney General Letitia James had accused Trump, his two eldest sons, and other Trump Organization executives of lying to tax collectors, lenders, and insurers for years. She accused them of indulging in a scheme that routinely exaggerated the value of their properties. Trump's lawyers had asked the judge to dismiss the case ahead of the trial by granting what is known as a summary judgment in his favor. James had also asked for a summary judgment seeking that Trump be found liable ahead of the trial. The judge finally sided with the attorney general. James is seeking $250 million in penalties and the removal of Trump and his sons from management of the family empire, the Trump Organization. Trump, who is also the frontrunner for the 2024 Republican presidential nomination, has denounced the case as a witch hunt. All right, for more on this, we are now being joined by Adele Nazarian from Washington, D.C. She is a media fellow at Gold Institute for International Strategy. Adele, great to see you. And thank you for joining us. How do you see the fraud charges against the former president, the latest in the legal trouble for Donald Trump, as many are saying?
I think that this is ludicrous. I think the more and more these attacks against him and attempts against him come out, we're seeing increasingly the hypocrisy surrounding this whole situation. I mean, all you have to do is look at history to see how, for example, in 1992, when then Arkansas state official President Clinton, before he became president, during his bid, he was engrossed in the Whitewater allegation, which included the Whitewater Development Corporation during his time and basically financial contributions from Bill and Hillary Clinton into real estate known as the Whitewater Development Corporation. And so it's the Justice Department did launch an investigation, and two other people, Jim and then his then wife Susan McDougal, ended up taking the blame. Bill Clinton pardoned Susan McDougal before in 2001, I believe it was, or so, before he left the White House in 2001. But you have to look at that. Then you can look at insider trading that was done. Even I think it was during President Washington's time as president, where there was insider trading done by William Dewar, who was in his inner circle and Assistant Secretary of the Treasury. I mean, it's unbelievable. This didn't even happen while Trump was president. And what they're doing is trying to throw anything they can, including the kitchen sink, at him. And it's just a gross, I think, misuse and abuse, frankly, of justice, in my opinion. And I think most people will agree based on the fact. Inflating property prices, it happens so often in real estate. And I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I think in order to really go after a former president, you have to really consider the other people who are actually currently sitting in office and other legally elected representatives who have been conducting financial fraud and misrepresenting the very people they were elected to serve equally. Yep. If they're going to go after a former sitting president.
That's true. And really, it comes as a time when we see poll after poll, the majority of Americans really are having second thoughts about our institutions. They believe that there's a two-tier justice system. And we do know that Donald Trump and his supporters will ultimately use this again to their favor politically. But ultimately, how far is too far? Can you also reflect upon the legality? Will these judgments ultimately be an impediment against his presidential ambitions? Maybe not politically. He'll get the support of the people. But after all, donors are watching. $250 million in penalty. That's a lot of money. So there are those issues to consider as well.
Absolutely. And the first time around, he was able to utilize the power of the media and going directly to the people, which saved him hundreds of millions of dollars, frankly, in electioneering, frankly, and in his attempts to campaigning, rather. And so now it is going to be a hindrance, frankly. It's going to, as you said, Suzanne, cause his donors to think, okay, where is this money going to go to? Is it going to be able to be utilized? Are they going to try to throw him behind bars? It's going to definitely pose a difficult challenge. And I think that's the reason why we're seeing, I think it's Fox News that's hosting a debate between Governor of California, Gavin Newsom, and Governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, who it appears are both bidding to be the nominees for the Republican and Democratic Party should this whole thing go south. And it's all in place. And this censorship is outrageous.
Yeah, I agree. Adel Nazarian from Washington, D.C. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much. And great point on that debate that's coming up between Gavin Newsom, the Democrat from California, and Ron DeSantis from Florida. We'll be watching that as well. It's very interesting, the timing as well. I'll talk to you soon, Adel. Thanks.
Thank you.